As always, it's a delight to have you again join us on the program Road to Edo 2024. I've always told you on this platform that this is the program that keep you up to speed with happenings. You have the opportunity to see all the aspirants who are actually throwing their weight on the race. And on today's edition, we have someone that have been with us here before. Of course, he's here again to discourse and chart the way forward for dear state. He's a person of Paul Ohungbowa. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's start with this. Why should it be you? Okay. Why must it be Paul Ohungbowa on the race?
Okay, first of all, it mustn't be Paul Ohungbowa.
Okay.
It mustn't be. But it must be the ideology that I carry. We cannot afford to have leadership in the hands of incompetent people in the name of technocrats or in the name of old money bags. We cannot afford to have that. We must revert back to compassionate government that has the concern of the people. And very importantly, government that is driven by ideas. My main mantra for is ideas. There is no other thing that I have to engage the people. I don't have the monies to engage the people. I will not be. I'm personally averse to the old political style because I don't have the funds for that. And even when we get support for friends and well-wishers to keep up this, narrative, we will not be spending frivolously. We will take our campaigns for the first time to we'll make it an issue-based campaign. Campaigns before now, or the discussions of pre-elections or elections as well before now is basically insults, tantrums, invectives. But we realize that that's the style. That's how they fool the entirety of the electorate. And then you find the social media interlocutors begin to dice it and begin to push such narrative. They are not interested.
Which now paint other aspirants in negative form?
Well, it has always been campaign of calumny, campaign of you stole this, you are that. It has never really been much of an issue-based campaign. So the reasons why I said the public should look at our consideration, consider us for this, is that we are ready to engage them with nearly 15 years old documents on how to build and make life better for Edo people. So on the basis and on the strength of the ideas that we intend to engage the people with, we believe that the spirit of old moments that enraptured the people will enrapture them once more into that realization that what you're looking for in Sokoto is right here in your Sokoto. And then the moment the people begin to realize that the moment we're able to illuminate their minds and they begin to see that it has really been supposedly them, the people, not the plutocrats, not the big names, the moment they realize that it's them, it means their eyes have become open. Okay. And when their eyes become open, the eyes of their oppressors will go blind.
Now, Paul, you seem to be the youngest from my little research so far. Among all the aspirants we have on the race, you seem to be the youngest. Don't you think that will pose a kind of risk for you, owing to the fact that you're going to have the high and mighty pulling their weight on this race? Won't that affect your candidacy?
If there's anything that intimidates me as a person, it's your cerebral content. Anything outside that, I don't get intimidated.
Doesn't matter?
No, it doesn't matter. If a president sits down with me and he's not vituperating at the level of content, he's not intimidating me. I feel his office is transcendent. I feel he probably luckily got there or bulldozed his way there. So the moment I judge him as such, he would not overwhelm me. And the fact that I'm the youngest in the race so far, for me it's a good thing. I like the idea because I'm about to engage my fathers. I'm about to retire them. It is my expectation that they will be a particular part of the national anthem which says the labor of our heroes past shall not be in vain. How be it so that at our age, my generation still believes that all they are good for is followership. My generation has been so full to the extent that they don't think or they don't see the possibility that they could lead and lead outrightly. And come to think of it, it is that those persons who know how to control power, who probably enjoy the largesse in power, do not want the younger generation to experience power, because the younger generation can experience power and do it two ways: either they spoil it completely or they make it better. And we are saying we want to enamel the public. We want them to listen to the things we are saying, because there is no old name or wealthy man or woman who is coming to man that office and then deploy his personal funding to make lives better for the people.
It's definitely the fund of the government.
Good. So the real essence upon which any political party or any candidate should engage the people is workable, doable, realistic ideas that transcends beyond memorandums of understandings, that transcend beyond paperwork. The moment the people listen to that, that's ideally the real thing. That's the base upon which people should judge you. Of course, married with your character, married with your antecedents. If you were not a criminal in the past, if you've had juicy offices before and you are probably, your hands are soiled in waters, the people should naturally reject you. And so when we say youth o'clock, it is not the absence of youth who have constituted political nuisance with opportunities given.
Okay.
It is that the best of us is still in our youthfulness. The things that we want to do in the course of this, engagement, you would be naturally seasoned with the things that we are discussing. It is that discussion that we are taking to Osadebe Avenue to use the people's common patrimony to implement. You are not going there because you are elderly, because you are a big fish, quote and unquote, or because your name is so loud in the streets, quote and unquote. We believe that the times where you fool the people with money and handouts is long gone. The people have so far experienced financial difficulty, economic precarity. See, people are suffering. You will not even understand the weight of it because you are now wearing suit in the studio here. If you know the life, if you know what's going on in the street, because I belong there. I don't have to call myself homeboy. I'm a boy. The moment you cross 50 and you're still using the maximum homeboy, the Beninese call that uki. You're supposed to be an elder. You're supposed to be a statesman. So I'm naturally in the street. I don't have money. All I have is ideas. And I believe the people should listen to my ideas.
But do you think the people will buy this idea? Because to an extent, politics in Nigeria, those states specifically, it seems to be politics of the big shots.
So it was with the last narration. But the people have taught you some lessons. Even as a journalist, you're supposed to take your pen and put some things down. Like the people have done this. Very recently, 2 heavyweights contested Senate with a man who was not known, with a man who didn't even paste poster. These 2 heavyweights littered the city with billboards and lost woefully to that man. It was the people that did it. Very recently, nobody ever thought that a man from the minority, the Nyamiri clan, the Eastern Nigerian, if you consider the relationship of the post-civil war of the Northern Nigeria and the Eastern Nigeria, you will know naturally that Peter Obi was joking. But Peter Obi won elections in some of the northern states. People did not believe that could happen. In Edo State, for example, didn't the big shots come out to try to oppress the people and try to chase the people out? Even in Rivers State, where they were obvious chasing and voter clampdown. Even in Lagos State, where there was obvious voter clampdown. The people's voice was so loud. So we do not even see the fact that we are from the political obscured party, quote unquote, the YPP is an evolving youth machinery to take power from their fathers. We do not even believe that mustard seeds like the YPP needs time to grow. We believe that the growth of YPP is contingent right now on what the people now see. The people are not doing more analysis. If you go to the street, Mr. Interviewer, you'll be amazed that the people are doing more analysis than just the usual. Of course, there will still be those who lean to their stomach. If you go to Facebook, you see a lot of keypad warriors that are on payroll, still writing about their fathers and trying to justify obvious mistakes. But then again, we believe that the actual voters are in the streets.
Okay, let's come to reality of terms now. YPP. Why did you feel YPP will give you the desired mandate that you want? Because you need a party for the people to vote. Secondly, YPP is kind of new in this part. It's been PDP or APC in the past in Edo State. Do you think it's going to be an easy win for the YPP, considering the fact that we still have the Labour Party, we have NNPP in the state? So looking at all these political parties that seems to be big wigs in court, with YPP coming into the scene, how is it going to look like for you?
God never glorifies himself in my life with things that are easy. God always takes the glory, and I just know that this is beyond me. Naturally, elections of this magnitude is beyond any person. And so, of course, the political structures in the time past and those that have evolved to what they are today are obviously the hope of those persons that are running on that ticket. But you see, my hope is the God-given ideas that I carry. I've discussed some of them with authorities before. I remember there was a time I had a meeting with the Oba of Benin. I discussed how I could use agriculture to change the lives of the people. The Oba asked his palace chiefs to stand up and pray for me.
Wow.
And so some of the ideas that I carry.
How long now? When was that?
It was the former Oba.
Okay.
And so it's been some time now.
Okay, it's been a while.
So the ideas that I carry are the impetus. All I need is inconsistency being the ears and the hearts of the people. All I need is to keep reminding them that the essence of leadership is, first of all, for your life to be better. I would like the people to start rationalizing certain ideas. When was the last time you had any government in Edo State that was very directional and intentional about the people? Instead of they are promoting policies that will suffocate the people. Now, when was it that you ever saw a government that was particular about the people? Now, let me shock you. If I become governor by God's grace and by the people's collective will, the first thing I shall do is to sign local government financial autonomy. It's proof that I don't need their money. Instead, in the course of this dialogue, I want to prove to the people that a smart leadership can create wealth with what's available. The old greedy...
But you think it's going to be that easy as governor? Because most governors, to an extent, believe local government shouldn't just have their freedom like that.
As of today, Edo State government has presented over 300 billion budget to the House.
For next year.
Kogi State government presented over 474 billion budget as we look towards 2024. And I succinctly look at the areas where they committed fractions of this budget, and I said to myself, it's business as usual, because they've done budget for the past 2 years, 3 years. They've been doing budget, and so the budget for me will not reflect in the lives of the people. I'm not particular even about Edo State. I'm particular about any government that does not run with ideas. Now, the whole essence of granting local government autonomy is not an act of weakness. It is our power should really go back to the streets. Because somebody asked me a question, and the person was like, why didn't you at least start from House of Assembly, start from local government? I think you should have asked me such a question. And my reply was simple. When was the last time you saw a true democratic process for House of Assembly elections and local government elections?
And you think it will now be easy for the number one seat in the state?
See it this way. EDSEC mostly conducted local government elections. Of course, they are the one that conducted local government elections. He who pays the piper dictates the tune. As for House of Assembly elections, well, let's just say it has always been so. But you see, when it comes down to governorship election, Edo people have been very loud. Remember, there was a time the governor had issue. The present governor had issue with his boss, his predecessor.
Yeah.
You remember what gave him impetus to even move was the people. The people felt like he was being oppressed. The people felt like those who brought him to power are trying to take him. See, the sentiment swept across board.
And you want to leverage on that?
The sentiment that
you think you can leverage on that?
Yeah, the sentiment that we are trying to leverage on is not that is personal. It is of the people. The people are suffering. If I prove to you day by today that you can make more than 3 or 4 million legitimately, I will naturally become your friend.
Definitely.
Now all I need is to prove it to you. Good. So in the course of this election, just like the biblical process, the pastors are aware, the easiest way to preach Christ is to show them Christ. Good. So when we want to preach governance, we'll be showing it to them in such a lucid way that they can comprehend that if they really do this.
Anyway, scripture says in the days of power, the people will be willing. But that's on the flip side. Now let's come to agriculture. The people are hungry, yes. People are going through a lot, yes. What do you think you can do differently from what other governors or other candidates will be doing? We have few time to go. Let's quickly speak to that.
I have nearly a 2-hour ebook on agriculture. And I'm not going to go into it now because I scheduled my appearances here to take care of certain discourse. But the truth is, some months ago, I was invited by the Young Farmers Association to come and deliver a seminar with all the federal parliament secretary of agriculture, federal level, state level, some House Assembly members, and I proved to them that there was so much wealth in agriculture. And after that, the president of the Young Farmers Association became my friend. And secondly, people who attended that program knew that I wasn't just gloating. I was indeed telling them what they know can be done. And so on agriculture, it's the new Yahoo. It's the new Yahoo. I told somebody that when you make me governor, the first thing I shall do is to build HK across the 18 local government. I was like, are you going to be promoting fraud? I said, well, it's just a concept I intend to relate with. Hustle kingdom is what HK means.
Okay, hustle
And
kingdom.
agriculture can become the new Yahoo. You see, whatever you put in the hands of young people, and I'm not particular about all young people. There are some that are, of course, deviant. There are some that have taken to waywardness. But you see, the idealist, the good thinking young person, if you put anything in their hands, it grows. Go check our entertainment industry. Our young people have literally turned into a global thing. It's not reflecting in Nigeria's GDP. You know, go check our fashion industry. Young people have taken it over. It's no longer tailor. You know, they now even have their tags. You know, they're doing. You can't distinguish between fabrics, suits made by their culture at Iyama, from what you bought from UK now.
Definitely.
Our youth are evolving. Our youth are changing the tides. If you check ICT, our fathers are not there.
A young guy made the one I'm wearing.
Good. Now, imagine if you put my father or my father's age mate in charge of ICT, when there are younger persons who are bubbling with modern trends and modern concepts and ideas on how to hit the cyber world, he will stall all of them. He will make that department infecund. You won't get results in that department. Okay. So when we are particular, even while we are the youngest of this race, we are particular about 5 generations. Those persons who have lost out from what Nigeria used to be. I mean, kids or people were born in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, in 2000 and 2005. These people are the actual victims of the maladministration that have been occasioned over time. There has been protraction in policies that do not transcend to their common good. And what we intend to preach to them is that so long as it is policies and ideas we are taking to Sadebe Avenue, rate us on the basis of our discourse. Go subject it to any empirical formula. Give it to any professor to help you expand that knowledge. When you discover that it is a knowledge qua knowledge, it is an empowering knowledge, and then you will buy naturally. It is that we leverage on, not the sentiment of being young, but the sentiment that we are coming to government to change the tide and make life better for the people.
Paul, you are a successful businessman. Over time, I've taken time to x-ray your person. You ventured into so many businesses that is striving, from education to other aspects. But look at the concern now. There's a clamor for power shift next year. There's this ideology that power should return to Edo Central. And you are of the extraction of Edo South. That is the concern now. Don't you think you should have at least given some time for the rotational proceedings to take place? Though in most of the political parties, they actually said there's no plan for rotation, for power rotation. But with this clamor for power to be taken to Edo Central, won't that jeopardize your ambition, Paul?
Well, the concerns of this power rotation, especially the ASA and gender that has been obviously bloated out of proportion, it is not by the common people. It is by those that still control them. Once upon a time, let us vote out Jonathan, good luck, insecurity. When the general became head of state, the evidence are there, it got worse. So while I share that sentiment, in Benin there's an adage that says you pray that the rain falls on your community, if you need it. I see Edo as our community. I see it as my community. I have business and people that I've employed from Edo Central. I didn't employ them on the basis of their tribes. The number of workmen and women that I have currently in our little expansions and companies is well over 450, nearly 500.
Definitely.
A good portion of these people are young people who are from the Eastern extraction. I never ask them, what tribe are you? So why would anybody ask me what tribe I am if I'm asking for things to get better?
So do you believe power should go to Edo Central?
I believe power should stay in Edo State. That's my belief.
How?
Now here's it. It is dangerous for our politics for us to keep pushing this narrative. While I understand the sentiment, I must also say there are a lot of suffering Eastern people who the big class of the Eastern extractions don't give a flying hoot about. And there are a lot of suffering Edo South people who the leaders of Edo South don't give a flying hoot about. About Afeman, there are a lot of suffering young people. The age demographic that I just mentioned, they are the true victim. And it is not that they don't have billionaires in their, among their tribesmen. How many of them have been selfless? Ask the aspirants, the billionaire aspirants, what has been your investment in Edo State all this while? I have contributed my quota. I have built young people. And if for nothing at all, the government should give me a plaque, an award that you have more than 400 staff at your age. At my age, I have contributed to societal growth such that Over 400 persons don't have to think of what to eat before they sleep or take up arms to go and rob or start doing fraud.
At your age?
At my age. This is a true attestation that there is capacity. If I have what they've been playing with for the past 16 years, I think Edo would have been better. And that is the honest truth. And I believe that when we begin to engage the people, they will know that we are not just saying we want to be. There is no other impetus for us. We don't have the political class. We don't have the rich friends. Right now, the billionaire friends are rallying below their billionaire aspirant, bringing in more money, paying keypad warriors, paying for channels, and paying for media to keep fooling the people. But we are moving as a single entity of poor people.
Okay, I want you to give me an honest answer. It's going to be a one-off answer because we don't really have time again. In most scenarios, we see young people pull their weight in an electoral process like this. They get themselves involved, and at the tail end, they just go for a kind of settlement and they go off track. Will that happen with Paul Ohungbowa?
Let me say
if you are giving 3 billion now, 3 billion.
Okay, first of all,
3 billion naira.
Sorry, first
3 billion.
I will answer you, sir. I'll go straight to that. I'm a very truthful person. I don't care how the truth affects the process. Now, first of all, I would like to go back to the tribal thing on another day. I have a lot to say on that. But you see, I have seen money that I feel would not glorify God in my life, and I've let it go. For example, I'm chiefly into the education business. Go and ask anybody, where have I procured my practice for? But you know, in all my centers across Edo State, if I had to do WAEC enrollment at 70,000 naira, and I probably use like 20,000 to conduct the process, 50,000 multiplied by more than 1,000 of them that I get annually. But go ask them. In fact, I come before them to tell them that this thing will set your life on a reverse gear. You can ask 3 commissioners. I've written proposals to them. They are on their desk. Barrister Washington Osifo. Then this current commissioner, Joan of Yahweh, if I was still communicating till tomorrow, I'm still telling them, close down my practice in Edo State. So if the industry was where I make revenues from, don't you think I would have been way richer?
So if these big wigs offer to give you something just to let them breathe,
let me tell you,
will you do that?
There has been an offer already.
Okay.
There has been an offer for me to collapse whatever it is that I got going, whether it is small fishes or not.
Are you considering the offer now?
If I consider that, I'll be betraying the young persons who have rallied behind me. I didn't come here on my phone. The young people pay for me to be here. Young people are sacrificing. There's somebody now who is printing cards. There's another guy who is printing shirts. These young persons believe that the things I have said, it's their turn. Not necessarily. I just feel like a forerunner or a messenger.
Okay.
I feel like somebody who is opportune to represent their interest. So put it mildly and simply, I will not betray the trust of young people. However, if there is any candidate who has a better offer for the people, and I see that this is a better offer for the people, I'm naturally that selfless. I will not take a kobo or a dime. I will throw my weight because I believe this person will do it better. But so far, I've been going through most of their resumes. They're just rich, big people who have practically nothing to offer. So I feel embodied to keep going on. The people will take my manifesto gradually and make it their property. But when it gets to that point, that's when you know that there could be a voter revolution indeed. Okay,
thank you very much, Paul Ohungbowa. That was a lovely one. We'd like to have you again and again.
Of course.
Well, I've been doing this. Let me just do it. Congratulations in advance.
Thank you.
Your Excellency.
Thank you so much.
Okay, after now, you might be the governor.
I don't like the title Excellency. I don't.
So what would like the people call you?
If I'm governor, just call me Paul. I'm a small boy.
Okay, Paulo.
That'll
be fine.
That'll be fine.
That'll be fine. All right, this is how far we can go on the program Road to Edo 2024. We'd like to see you again on the next one. Don't forget, you can be part of this platform. All you need to do is to contact our communication village to tell you how you go about it. And definitely, you'll be here to share your ideas or your ideology with Edo people. My name is Daniel Praise Osedebame. Do have yourself a fantastic evening ahead, and bye for now.